everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Saturday, October 11th, 2025, and I am on my way to the flea market to do some vending. So anyways, what I've been thinking about a lot, am I the only one who feels like they're living in the Twilight Zone? I mean, I know, okay, all my life, you know, things have been, you know, this world is just, it can be hectic, chaotic, it can be scary, you know, it's frightening, weird stuff happens, bad stuff, frightening stuff. And unless you carve out time to actually go someplace and just sit and be peaceful, you know, it'll get to you here. But I would say, like, over the last 10 to 12 years, I have been feeling like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, that I'm in some kind of weird place. And I'd say over the last 10 to 12 years, the more time that goes by, the weirder it gets, and the more obvious it gets that it's weird here. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I don't know. It's very, very strange. You know, it's like it used to be, you know, the powers that be, what's going on here, or whatever you want to call them. I like to call them the powers that were. It used to be they used to try to hide what they were doing. That's why it was so easy to, you know, make those who could see the truth seem crazy, because they were so good at hiding what they were doing. Well, now they don't even try to. And I would say the first time I realized, I even said it out, I was by myself and I said it out loud. This is when COVID just started, you know, and the vaccines and all that. And I think it was like March of 2020. And I said out loud to myself, I said, wow, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And they don't anymore. I mean, it's just like nobody, they don't care. It's like, well, morals have gone out the window, so we can do whatever we want and not hide it. You know, and it's I don't know, it's just so strange to me. I think the strangest thing is everything is backwards. I feel like I'm living in opposite land or something. You know, I think it's starting to improve now, I hope, but it's like, what? I don't know. I just, you know, the things that go on. Whatever the concrete, and I believe there are truths that are relative. And for me, this mostly has to do with anything spiritual. My camera isn't looking good here. There we go. So it mostly has to do with spiritual stuff. To me, can be relative, because we cannot, like the Bible says, you know, we cannot see through the glass clearly, through the mirror clearly, whatever. So we have different ways of interpreting spiritual stuff. So yes, your truth is probably going to be different than my truth when it comes to spiritual stuff. And it's okay. But solid truths, like, okay, it's autumn and the leaves are changing. Somebody wakes up, nope, it's spring. I mean, it's like everything's backwards. Solid truths are backwards now. Everything is backwards. And I guess what shocks me the most is everybody's anger. And I don't mean, okay, like I have anger towards the government. What I don't have is anger towards individual people. Because we're all victims of the system. So, but I'm seeing other people, just this like anger is unbelievable. I see like Depression has increased. You know, but it's just the oppositeness of everything. You know, and it is, well, here's a perfect example. You know, I said I had MECFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, it's better now. I can go out and do stuff now. But it used to be I couldn't leave the house. I was always sleeping, always in bed. Now, I hated it. And I was also very embarrassed. Now, I realize I am of the older generation. We were raised differently and stuff. And I'm not one. I cannot lay around. I cannot do nothing. This is why I'm like always sewing, or I'm crocheting, painting, gardening, whatever. I can't even just sit and watch TV. I have to be crocheting. That's just the type of person I am. So that drove me crazy. But here's what I think. Other people, now all of a sudden these days, and I'm not even going to blame it on any certain age group, because I think everybody's doing it now. They're proud of their illnesses. Like, they brag about it. And now I can, to a point, understand it. Because I think I told you guys, when I was younger, I had severe anorexia. And I remember I had a really good therapist, thank God. And I don't know how it came up, but I said to her, she goes, I sense you're afraid to let go of the anorexia. And I said, I think you're right. I said, because if I'm not anorexic, then who am I? So in other words, I had to let that go and go on this like search to find out who I truly am. And that frightened me. But I think as the years went by, the search became fun. Trying to find out who I truly am. So this is what I'm seeing today. It's like people wear their illnesses as a badge, you know, and they defend it, which I don't understand. So that's opposite to me. To me, okay, I have this illness. I don't want it. It's not really mine. It's an illness. It's afflicting me. So let's find out how to get rid of it, so I can go on being me. You know, I don't see that anymore. Okay, I don't know. Everything's so weird and so backwards. You know, and there's more stuff, but it's like, I don't know. Am I the only one who feels like they're living in the Twilight Zone? And when I say, I'm talking about the original Twilight Zone. That's the one I like the best. That was on TV when I was a little girl. You know, it's like, wow. It kind of is like, I don't know, if you ever saw the one where the sun was getting closer and closer to the earth. But then you find out later, well, the main character was sick, had a really bad fever, and was dreaming this, but it seemed real to her. But what was actually happening was the earth was getting further and further away from the sun. And the earth was getting colder and colder. It was a cool one. But that's what I kind of feel like that episode there. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys think we're living in the Twilight Zone? Does it feel that way to you? So I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.